Hello. Oh my
Hey.
goodness, that was a long 2 minutes. That right now. I just want to make sure we are hooked up to LinkedIn here before we dive in. So on my side, it is being weird this time and says we haven't started yet. If anyone in the chat can tell me, or if you see it, you guys, on your phones or anything, I just want to make sure. Because on mine, it's not looking like it started.
I got a message saying join now for mine.
Okay.
Saying Aaron Colette's live.
Okay, it says it's streaming, so maybe it's just being weird on my phone. Okay. We will see as we go. Let's see here. Sorry about that. I just want to make sure everyone's here before and that we're connected. Does it say starting soon for you?
Yeah, it says starting soon on mine.
That's so strange. It says it is streaming.
There's Patty.
Is that on Instagram?
On LinkedIn.
Oh, so we are on LinkedIn? Let's hope.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Patty. Sorry, it wasn't coming up. So what an awkward start. Well, hello, everyone. I just wanted to make sure. Oh my gosh. Thank you, Patty, for coming through. So super excited to talk with all of you today. I'm so happy to be here with Aaron and Aiden, who have created this incredible innovation. It's going to be so exciting to get this out into the world and to just share the innovations that are happening. And we don't often hear about innovation for incontinence. Let's just be real about that. So for that, I'm always looking when people say, what kind of like tech do you think we're lacking? And I'm always saying, anything in the restroom, incontinence wise, and then I feel like in the kitchen too. I feel like there's those two areas that we really need to see more in. So excited to share all about Zealacare. And just to do a little intro, if you don't know, I am Carrie, aka Dementia Darling, and I am here for education, resources, community encouragement. I'm here to cheer you on, everyone in the dementia community, all dementia caregivers. And I love, as you can tell, sharing about age tech innovations and things that can make our life a little easier. Just please, something to make life easier. And this is one of those things. So, Aaron, do you want to take it and tell us?
You're one of the biggest cheerleaders I know, Carrie. So it's awesome.
Always.
So I'm Aaron. We met at CES 2025. We were kind of in that innovation hub where they've got a lot of the innovative group, products that are coming out that are new to market. And it was cool. We had people coming down. They're like, Carrie told us about you. We wanted to come see. So my background's in skilled nursing. I'm a licensed nursing home administrator here in Arizona. And just saw the struggles with incontinence firsthand with both the caregivers and our staff trying to care for, very much like a guessing game, right? Are they wet? Are they not? Do we change them? Do we not? You go and you check them. You actually have these 2-hour checks where you're supposed to go check every 2 hours. And I was doing the night shift in my initial training, and they were like lifting up the covers. And this lady, she's like, I'm cold. And she didn't even need to be changed, but she'd been woken up. And I thought, man, this is tough, so hard. And then, I could go on story after story with that. I thought, so that's kind of the genesis for this effort with Zealacare, is to try to really help people who are struggling. And what we've realized is there's a lot of struggle around it. So super excited to be here. Thanks, Carrie, for letting us join with you on this today.
Absolutely. Thank you for sharing. And Aiden?
Yeah, no, I've been involved with Zealacare from the beginning as well. It's funny. I initially saw Carrie posted on one of our social media posts, and I was like, I called Aaron. I was like, Aaron, we need to get Carrie on board. We need to talk to Carrie because this is exactly what we stand for. So super excited when Aaron sent me a picture that they linked up. We were just super excited. I was
that was pre-CES. That was like
it was meant to happen. Yes, it had to happen.
Yeah, it was great. Carrie, I just want to confirm before we get going. Aaron's live video is on, and I wonder if Patty joined through Aaron's link. but I'm not sure
It should all lead to one.
it all leads to one. Okay,
Yeah.
because I'm still looking at it from your page, and it's like saying starting soon. So
Still?
that's my only. I just wanted to make sure before we.
No, thank you. I never know what it looks like on the other end, because it's like if it says it's good to go, and then you're like, it should all go to one place. Sorry, guys. We're going to just.
Hold on. I think
I'm learning how to use Restream. If anyone wants to teach me, Restream is awesome, but
yeah.
it
So
still makes me nervous.
you can see when I look at my phone.
That's what it said to me
your
too.
link, that's what it's saying. So, but if you do it on Aaron's, it joins. It allows me to join. So, I just want to make sure the people that aren't following Aaron that are following you are able to join too.
Yeah, that might be. And Ian, thanks for letting me know. Ian's an AI expert that
It says we're Dementia Darling and Zealacare happening now on Aaron, so hopefully it's just being weird for us. But I'm going to repost it so it shows up on mine as well, and we'll make sure we get it out to people.
Okay.
But yes, I think we're. Oh, I just saw it of us on Aaron, so I think we should be live on all of them.
Okay. Cool.
But we will see, and we'll do a part 2 if we need to. Okay. Because we got to make sure everyone sees this.
Yeah.
So yeah, as you know, as you've pointed out, so we met at CES, Patty and I. So honestly, I will say it's hard to come across people that are genuinely excited about this kind of tech. I'm sure you have those conversations where it's hard to generate excitement about this. And yes, Patty and I are your people to be excited.
You and Patty are awesome. You guys came by together, and it was so cool. Like Patty's phenomenal. Lorenzo's house, just shout out to them because I think it's fantastic what they're doing as well. But a lot of people, it's interesting. They'll be like, oh, incontinence, and they'll kind of steer away from that. It's like this. It's such a, you avoid it, and I get it. It's private, and it's messy, and it can be uncomfortable for people. But it's a lot of people's reality is incontinence care, and it's not pretty, and it's really, really, really tough to the point that you just feel so much for these people. So
absolutely. No, I know I told you right when I met you, I was so one of my favorite things I ever saw at a training was I was doing a presentation for an hour, and their new memory care staff, they have them sit in a watered down wet depend for the whole hour to know what it feels like to be left wet and cold, and just left. And it was such an interesting training, and I was like, I love this woman who is doing this. And don't worry, it was a choice. It wasn't anything weird going on, but it was just such a beautiful way to show, like, this is not how anyone should be sitting and, feeling this way ever. So that was just such an amazing lesson I saw. But that was something that I saw in my work so much, is how, I know we all see it in senior living, how horrific a UTI can be.
Yeah.
Deadly. And it's horrible. And I just saw that time and time again in my work. And so when I saw your innovation, I was like, oh my gosh, this could literally save lives. I don't think people understand. Could save lives. And especially with the lack of caregivers we have for people, and the growing amount of people that are going to need care, we need things like this so desperately to help in any way to avoid those things and to help these caregivers, because they are going to be stretched even more thin than they already are. So this is very important, and we need to talk about
two comments with that. Like, I remember specifically having a conversation with a guy at the facility. He was the son. His mom was there. She was probably early 90s, old lady. And he said, my mom got a UTI and has never been the same. She went downhill so fast from that UTI. And I remember him specifically talking about her mental health. Like, she was pretty sharp prior to the UTI, and afterwards it just decimated her. And that stuck with me, because I always think, you get the antibiotics, you get better, and then you move on. And for that elderly population, that's just not the case. It can be so damaging for the long-term effects that it has on them.
Absolutely. Oh my goodness. And for people, living with dementia or another maybe brain change, where when you can't communicate, how scary would that be? If you can't communicate, you're in pain or you're uncomfortable, and to have something like this to be able to give almost that power to communicate in some way that
Yeah.
you need help is just
100%.
major game changer. It just thinking about it is so exciting. I've been ever since I met you on stages when I'm up there and incontinence comes up. I love to blow people's mind with this. I'm like, are you ready for this? And everyone's so shocked. So let's dive into it because I want everyone to know what we're talking about. So let's share your incredible presentation and really get the feel for what is Zealacare.
Cool. Fantastic. So, yeah, so the challenges are real. We just talked about that. If you look at it, top priority for caregivers is dignity and quality of care. We want to maintain that dignity. It's tough to see a loved one suffer. And the reality is that incontinence impacts most people who have dementia. And so 60 to 80% of those individuals end up having incontinence as well at some point. And then, it's a huge burden on the families. It creates a lot of stress. It can create burnout. You worry about the smells. You worry about, catching it in time. You worry about the skin breakdown. You worry about the UTIs. And so there's just so much that goes into that can be overwhelming. And then, of course, you actually have those health concerns that do happen because they can't communicate it like you were saying. And next thing you know, they've been in a brief too long and that bacteria starts to grow and you get the UTIs and then you end up having the problem. So tough scenarios. I love that you put Q&A, ask it in the chat if you have any questions. But hats off to these people because they love and they care and they do it with so much just compassion. It's awesome. So I've got a huge place in my heart for the caregivers as well.
Yeah, because really, we designed Zealacare. These people, they go through their whole life caring for you, and then they hit a certain point, and then now all of a sudden they need the care, and that can be so debilitating, both from a health standpoint, but also just a mental health standpoint. And so we also recognize that it's hard for the caregivers as well, because now you're having to care for your loved one, but you still have a busy day. You still have to care for maybe your kids as well. And so when we were thinking about Zealacare and when we were establishing Zealacare, we wanted to come up with something that truly just helped ease the burden for both caregivers and those that are dealing with incontinence. And so that's where we came up with our smart incontinence system. So we have within our system, we have our smart briefs, and then we have a small reusable sensor that snaps onto the front of the brief. And we'll go into more depth in this in a little bit, but this is just kind of an overview. And then that connects via Wi-Fi to our app, and it'll detect wetness within the brief and notify your app not only when they're wet, but how saturated their brief is. So you can provide the care right away, and it eliminates all those unnecessary checks, those burdensome checks and those embarrassing checks, and only allows you to provide the care when it's needed, which just alleviates a lot of that, lack of dignity that is experienced with those who are dealing with incontinence. So that's our solution. We're so excited about it. We've seen it impact a lot of individuals' lives, a lot of facilities' lives as well. And so we're just so excited for rolling this out and so grateful for this opportunity.
Yeah, I remember we were using this with a 100-year-old lady, and she was actually mentally really with it. And so the caregiver was explaining, what it was going to do, and they were going to have to wake her up at night unnecessarily. And her response was, "Woo wee!" It was awesome.
I love that.
So, yeah, we use really high quality briefs. They've got this standing leak guard that helps, prevent the leaks. They're really absorbent. They've actually got a top layer on them that helps wick that moisture downward and keep the skin really dry. So even if it is wet, it helps keep the skin dry. So really, really, really great in terms of the quality of the brief itself. And then I love this picture because I think it gives a really good visual for what people can expect with it. Where does it go? Is it bulky? Does it get in the way? And it actually can fit right under your clothing as long as it's not like super tight. It works really, really well. Again, the thickness of that's just about the thickness of my thumb, half of my thumb. So really pretty low profile in that sense. And it's a Wi-Fi based sensor. So you pair it to your Wi-Fi, and then as long as you're within that Wi-Fi, that sensor, you'll get the notifications for it. So you could be in the room, you could be in the kitchen, you could be watching TV. I know some people are bedbound, but there is a variety as long as it's within that Wi-Fi. As the caregiver receiving the notifications, you can be anywhere in the world. As long as you're connected to your data, you'll get a notification. So pretty cool, huh?
That's very cool. Oh my gosh.
So yeah, driving down the road. We're working on rolling out a next version, which will allow you to go to the park or to the store. That'll be the Bluetooth version that we're going to roll out. That's coming. So yeah, just really excited about the versatility of it and the reliability as well.
Yeah. So the app is just so cool. It not only, like I mentioned before, tells you when they're wet, but it allows you to create this customizable experience for each person. Because we understand that every person is unique and every person has different care needs. And so you can actually go in and tailor your notifications to say, I only want to be notified when the brief is 20% full, when the brief is 40% full, maybe when the brief is 80% full. But this allows you to do, for example, if someone is prone to skin breakdown, to UTIs, you need to change them really quickly. And so you can put that notification level really low. So right away, when they have a wet event, you're going to be able to go and change them and allow them to minimize that time of skin exposure to the urinary pathogens and all those things that end up causing those health complications. So it's just a really cool experience in that regard, that you can tailor it to be exactly how you need for your loved one or for whoever you're caring for, which is really great feature.
Cool. Patty, thanks for the comments. I love it.
I was texting her in the background. I was like, what's going on? So sorry.
So if we've got people now joining us, welcome. We're talking.
Yes, we're talking all about Zealacare, the newest, I would say, like an innovation for incontinence care. So this is what the app looks like for the caregiver, right? So This is what it would look like on your phone. And the gist of it that I would like that I think is just to say is, so it's literally going to tell you maybe how wet their depend is, so when they need to be changed. And I think it's such a big thing because specifically in community wise, when you're on that 2-hour shift or change, you're getting woken up every 2 hours. And what if you don't need to be? Well, and then you're losing quality of sleep. You're losing all the things. The quality of sleep in communities can be really detrimental to people because of those. So this is just amazing for so many reasons.
You go back to that earlier slide, Carrie, and it talks about, we don't need to go back, but the stat was sleep disruptions can lead, 70% of falls can be tied back to sleep disruptions. So most falls happen in around the bed. People who are incontinent will wake up and think, oh, I got to go to the bathroom. And then they try to go on their own and they can't. And then they have a fall. So there's a lot that's really tied to falls and incontinence as well. But yeah, not have to wake people up. So awesome. So cool.
Also not having to rely upon this trust between you and the individual, because it could be really hard if you say, hey, do you need to be changed? And they say no. And then you find out that they did. Well, now every time that you ask them, you're going to have to change them and check them, even if they actually aren't. And that could be really invasive and a difficult relationship to kind of develop. And so this kind of eliminates that and allows you to only focus on, those great moments that you still have with your loved ones, and kind of eliminate all the awkward, conversations and manual checks that might be required when caring for someone with incontinence.
So a common question we get is, how complicated is the technology? Because people don't want complicated things, and particularly this, this demographic. We actually say this is more for the caregiver than it is for the individual. Like, right, it's for both of you, but It's really not complicated. We've made it super simple. So it's a one-time pairing process for the sensor to pair to the Wi-Fi. It takes about 5 minutes, and it's just step by step in the app.
Amazing.
And then really these 4 pages are like all that we have. Like there's not a lot. We keep it pretty simple, where you'll see the individual. It'll tell you how wet their brief is or if it needs to be changed. You can add guest caregivers. So if you want to add, you've got someone else who's coming into the home, you can add that person. Just put in their email, they'll get an invite, and then that person will have access to the care as well. And so super intuitive and easy to use, and we've kept it that way intentionally. So,
thank you for that. Not everyone thinks like that, unfortunately. And we know caregivers don't need anything else on their list of things to do if we can help it.
Yeah, absolutely. Nighttime, we talked about that. This was actually the stat. It wasn't earlier. It's on this slide. Sleep disturbances increase fall risk by up to 70% in elderly adults.
Wow.
Pretty amazing that we can reduce those, minimize the sleep, not needing to wake people up for incontinence.
So needed.
But good sleep leads to overall good health generally, or much better quality of life and health. So, I understand sundowners is an issue with a lot of those with dementia. And there's their own unique challenges there, but we help as much as we can on the incontinence side of things.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And just, we've mentioned this multiple times now, but apart from even just the health benefits with the UTIs and the skin breakdown and everything like that, just the mental health is just such a big component that we always want to emphasize, because I don't think we realize how debilitating from a mental standpoint incontinence can be sometimes, because we're not living it, right? It's not something you understand unless you're living it. And so we really just always try to emphasize that as much as possible, because we want to help them, live out the rest of their lives with as much peace and, feel mentally at peace. And it's just such an important factor for us, in addition to all the health benefits like UTIs and skin breakdowns and all that.
Absolutely.
So some people ask, how sensitive is our system? And it's actually super sensitive. So it's so sensitive that when we were doing our testing and going through our beta phase, we were actually getting sweat that was triggering it. So our algorithm filters for sweat. We do pick up dribbling, but that's where that slider comes into play. So you don't want to change a brief that really doesn't need to be changed. And so you'll get people who dribble, and at some point it'll hit that 10% threshold. But that's the beauty of the customization that we've got in our system, is you can say, okay, here's somebody who holds it I've seen someone hold it for like 10 hours and then they'll void. Whew. And then you've got, I know, like bladder of steel. And then you've got others who just have frequent small volume voids, and we pick up on all of that, and you can customize it. So it's really a beautiful thing, allows for the best care. And then, the testimonials have been really good. Oh, we'll get to that slide, but really, really great. We've got people with individuals with disabilities in their 20s using this. Their caregivers are helping take care of them. It's been really cool to hear how that's benefited their relationship and eased the burden. Mentioned the 100-year-old lady as well, and everything in between, in home, in facilities, hospice. I mean, really, really cool to see the different settings and scenarios that it's helping people with. There's this one by Sydney. She talks about this lady. She's like, okay, it's saying you need to be changed. She went and changed her. And I actually was talking with this lady. She knew that we were working on this incontinence and helping, her with it. And she's like, that is the coolest thing. She's like, I can't even believe it. I can't even believe it.
I feel that.
So it's really cool. But this is probably a good spot for us to get any questions. If we've got any questions coming through, we'd love to answer them here.
If there's any, and I will check on the Instagram. And as Those come in. Oh, we have something on Instagram about for someone living with dementia, do they tend to have issues with the sensor, like wanting to take it
Yeah.
off? Do they feel it?
Great question. And I was actually going to bring that up because we get this question a lot. We haven't had any issues with people removing the sensor, things
Okay.
like that. Since it's discreet, once it's on, it's not super apparent that it's there. We actually met with, some dementia agencies, things like that, and asked them these questions because we wanted to be really sure beforehand and make sure that it wasn't going to be something that was easily removed and lost and things like that. So we haven't had any issues among our customers right now. There might be specific scenarios. We've had some people that just, would like to remove their brief entirely, which
Yep.
which is common, but it's not due to the sensor. It's just they would do that whether they were wearing any type of brief. And that's just the type of scenario
That's
that we have
true.
to navigate differently. And that's okay. But as far as the sensor itself, we haven't seen very many issues at all with that.
Yeah.
That makes me so happy.
Yeah, like I say, it tucks under really easily under any clothing. You can also kind of fold that sensor over, kind of helps keep it there as well. But we've designed it where it doesn't come off easily, but when you want to make the change, you can pull it off, throw away the old brief, snap it onto the new brief.
Okay.
That's how that works.
Well, I love how long the battery life is because I feel like a lot of things aren't very long. So it's 5 to 7 days. Is that what it said?
5 to 7 days. And it's just you can actually see it in the picture here. That's our charging pad. You just set it on top of that charging pad, and you'll get a little red light that flashes, and it turns green when it's fully charged. It's about an hour.
I love that. Oh, okay. That's nice.
It is hermetically sealed as well, meaning that if you need to wipe it down with a little rag or anything like that to clean it, you're not going to damage any of the inside components or anything like that, which is great because we know accidents happen. We know, it can get dirty, things happen.
Absolutely.
And so we want to make sure that, you're able to wipe it down. You're able to do all those things without, messing with the integrity of the sensor at all. So,
Yeah, it's pretty tough, huh?
Yeah. It's tough.
I saw you kind of, it's only about
light.
an ounce.
Yeah, it's light.
It's really light. So
I don't feel like I would notice that on my,
no.
No, I like that a lot. And then also, can you explain a little bit more about the Wi-Fi, or like what do you need and how, like, do you need Wi-Fi or how that works?
Yeah. So you do need Wi-Fi. You can, so the app is available on the Android Google Play Store, and it's also available in iOS on the App Store. So those are the two platforms. You download the app. There's a pairing process where it'll take your phone's Bluetooth and connect to it, and then you pair it to the local Wi-Fi network. All you need is your Wi-Fi password, and it'll prompt you to put that into the app, and then it will sit and a little circle will spin for about a minute, and then it'll say paired, and then it's paired. So as long as the sensor stays within the Wi-Fi range, it'll have connectivity. If for some reason it drops off or your Wi-Fi goes out, our app will actually send you a notification that says, hey, looks like it's been disconnected. And so then you can look and see, okay, is it a Wi-Fi issue? Did maybe they went out of the house? And so you can kind of make sure that it's working in that sense. And then when the battery level starts going down, you'll get a notification that says, hey, your battery's at 20%. You might consider charging it now. Yeah, pretty cool.
It just to clarify, so once that sensor is on that Wi-Fi, just as long as it is in, so for example, if you pair at your mom's house and so your mom stays, you can actually leave. You can go to the store, and while you're at the store, just as long as that sensor or your mom is still in that Wi-Fi, you can get a notification that says, oh, hey, she's wet. And that's great in the sense and this goes to wanting to help relieve the burden of caregivers as well, as we want you to be able to do your day-to-day activities that you still have to do while still knowing that you can stay connected and know when, your mom or your loved one or anyone who's in need needs help. And so that's what's great. You could be across the country, you could be in Hawaii and your mom in New York and still get that notification, which is really great and just helps people feel more connected to the whole situation.
Absolutely. What peace of mind. You can be there without being there, in a sense, for something that is so, I mean, private for many people and hard to get people to tell you the truth, right? If they're having a hard time or if they are, needing support. And so having something like this is just, next level.
I was
And
with the caregiver, and sorry, I didn't mean to
no,
cut you off.
don't go.
The app was saying she was 80% wet, which is a lot. Like our briefs hold about 800 to 1,000 milliliters. Your average void is about 240 milliliters. So this is like she's wet 2 full voids. It was what it was indicating, and she had been told that she didn't need to be changed. So the caregiver was like, asked her, and she said, "No, I'm good. I don't need to be changed." And I was like, well, the app, maybe just talk to her again and see. So she came back out. This was in a facility. She came back out, and she's like, oh my gosh, she was totally full. I'm glad that we changed her. And what happens is, you'll end up changing the bed and everything else and all the sheets and clothing because they don't know, right? Or they can't verbalize that, or they're embarrassed to say it to you. And so it was really, really cool. That was kind of a fun experience for the caregiver. Was like, oh my gosh, this is so cool.
Blowing her mind in real time. I love it.
Yeah.
I have another question from Instagram. It says, do the briefs come in different absorbency levels?
So right now we just have our main product line. We have our tab briefs.
Okay.
And so the only variance in the absorbency is just based on the size, between 800 for our small medium to like 1,000 for our extra large size. We're currently developing more briefs and a pull-up style, and we want to offer, because we know there's a lot of different preferences in what people wear, and so we're developing them right now, and hopefully by the end of the year we should have more options for absorbency, as well as just different styles like pull-up style and things like that.
I was just going to ask the pull-up. Okay.
Yeah.
And okay, that's wonderful. Keep us updated when you have some other options there. That's wonderful, because I know that the pull-ups are usually favored, huh? I feel like.
Yeah, depending on it just depends on the situation. Some people need the tabbed briefs because it allows them to be changed easier without having to be as mobile. And then there's some people that are more mobile and like the pull-up style. And so we want to be able to, offer all those realms.
So true. Can you explain the pricing one more time to me?
Yeah, Aaron, I'll let you.
Let's jump.
Oh, yay.
So, hey, use this code. This is awesome. Darling15, you'll get 15% off. So thank you for joining. Thanks for listening in. If you're listening to a recording of this in the future.
Yes.
This is good through June. So we've got a full month here that we use this code. Okay. But Darling15, get 15% off your purchase. The sensor itself is a one-time purchase. It's reusable. It moves from brief to brief. It's $64.99. The briefs, depending on if you buy the 20-pack, which I've got back here, or a box of 60, which would be 3 packs of 20.
Yeah. Okay.
They range from $1.29 a piece up to $1.49 a piece. Yeah, thanks for showing it. They're great, really, really great quality. Yeah. So that's the pricing on the briefs, and then we give a 30-day free trial on the app, and then after that it's $14.99 a month. We also have a 30-day free trial on the sensor, so you can buy the whole system, and the only thing we don't take back within the first 30 days is the briefs. So it's really a low risk trial, if you will. I mean, you can try it. If you don't like it, send back the sensor. We'll refund you. You don't get charged for the app in that first month. And you can give it a full trial. And if you really look at what you're already paying for briefs versus what ours are, I mean, briefs can go anywhere from under $1 up to $3 a piece. And so wherever you're at in there, I think that we're quite affordable for what you're getting in terms of quality of the product, and then also the technology.
Absolutely. Okay, I talk to people every day that are building tech, and I get it. stuff is expensive. Life is so freaking expensive. I get it. But when you guys told me the pricing, again, I was just like, could you get any better? Like, and once you have the pull-ups, it's like you're unstoppable. So no, I think this is so affordable, and I love that it's a 30-day free trial. I love that you just said, like, try it, and if you don't like it, not much risk to it. That is such a value. I mean, truly. And for a busy caregiver to just wonder if they should do it or shouldn't, or a community to try with certain people that they're having, to really want to be on top of for them if they're having some issues with that. I think it's just such a wonderful, it's just a no-brainer to try it, right? So anyone that is caring for someone that is incontinent, and specifically if you are having trouble staying on top of it, or having, the communication there, all the things, or if you're going on respite, or if you're gonna, if you go to work during the day and you have a caregiver come in, or they go to an adult daycare center, and you want that to be able to help and provide that support for the other caregivers that are in your, group, this is just a game changer for everyone. So I couldn't be more excited about sharing this. And I'm holding one of these now. I was just opening that up too. I was like, why not just open it? But I love, because I'm trying to think who I want to give these to as well. But I love this so much. And it is, this looks
they're such high quality.
Yeah, very comfortable. I love the quilting of it. And like, this is going to hold a lot. It feels great.
Yeah.
Looks very comfortable. Yeah. Maybe I'll do a test and put it on and let you guys know. We'll see. We'll see. But that won't be
no pressure. One thing I'll say too is, like, people are really shocked that we answer our phones and that we respond to emails. They're like, you guys have great customer service, and we pride ourselves on that. So really, it is, try it. If you're not happy with it, reach out to us. Yeah. We don't avoid you. Like, we get back to you, we talk to you. Or if you're like, hey, how does this work? We answer questions, and we really help people find success. And I think that's why we've got so many happy people using it. So
yeah, you walk alongside your people and you take feedback, and you're just trying to make something that truly helps people, and it shows. And I just want you guys to blow up, because I know how many people it would just change the way that they can provide care, feel more confident in their care. And honestly, for professionals to be able to say, we have this, like if you have, a small residential home or something, and it's just like everyone who's incontinent has this, whoo, that is a huge, plus, let me tell you. So so please check out Zealacare, please. You will not be sorry. And use that code Darling15. You got to use it. In June, we want to make sure that you try that out, and then let us know what you think. But please reach out to them. As they said, Aiden and Aaron are so kind. They're here to talk to you. They get it. They, created this out of their need, right? They were experiencing this, they were in the trenches, and are creating this to help others. So just so exciting. Thank you for everyone who joined us today. Shout out to our girl, Patty. We love you. And let me see, I'm going to be sharing all about Zealacare as well on other posts. So make sure to stay tuned for that. And again, reach out, call them, reach out, and go check out the website. But anything else you guys want to shout out before we end today?
No, just huge thanks to all those. Yeah, thank you, Carrie. Thanks to the caregivers and people caring for loved ones. It's really big, beautiful hearts caring for those people. So thank you.
Oh. Yes, no, thank you. And I'll figure out LinkedIn next time, and we'll get it right. But I just appreciate you both so much. And thank you all for joining us today. And we'll talk to you next time. Bye.
Yeah. See ya. Bye.
Bye.